Hi guys, good evening, and welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host, Eddie, and in tonight's video, I'll be doing my week-delayed review, but the review of the latest episode of the new CBS show, Clarice. It's funny, a new episode is actually about to drop in about an hour, and I intend on watching it, but I just finally caught up on last week's episode, which was quite good, I thought. I wanted to share my review with you guys. Now, as usual, if you're not caught up on Clarice by this episode or the previous episode, which was the series premiere, you might not want to keep watching or listening as I will be discussing spoilers. So you have been warned. That being said, let's jump right back into it. You know, when I first started watching the show, I was really hoping for kind of like an almost anthology or standalone show where she would just solve, serial case by each week. And when this episode introduced the premise of a standoff with a militant group, I was like, oh, okay, not quite the storyline I was expecting, but let's see where it goes. And it turned out to be pretty damn good. There were a couple of twists and turns, like the shocker involving the corrupt sheriff, how he's in on this prostitution ring with this compound leader. And then, how it was the boy who shot the ATF agent, and he did it as a cry for help just to get the attention of the authorities so he and his mom could escape that horrible, abusive place that it was. And then Clarice relating to a couple of characters since it is from her old home turf, Appalachia. And it was actually a pretty decent and well-done episode. I really like the story, and I like how in the beginning of this episode, she's lost Krendler and her team's trust and faith in her, and by the end of it, she's regained it because of her, impeccable ability to think and act on her feet in a life-or-death situation. And she's earned the respect and trust of her team once again. Now, hopefully she can hang on to it. I personally applaud her for being so honest and upfront about in the press conference and the final scenes of the previous episode. But of course, that would come back to bite her in the ass in the most Clarice Starling way. But like I said, by the end of this episode, she seems to have regained her team's and her boss's trust, so that's good. I also really enjoyed the fact how the standoff did end up with her sniper friend putting that guy down, and good riddance to that prick. But I also loved how what really made that scene so gripping was that she was using some tricks that she had learned from behavioral sciences and used some internal psychological tampering to mess with this guy and make him feel inferior and second guessed by the corrupt sheriff. That was brilliant. I really, really enjoyed that. I thought that was awesome. That was just as good as like the standoff ending in a, with guns drawn, which it kind of did when the sniper took him out. But, Clarice did most of the heavy lifting at that point. So I really enjoyed this episode. You know what? The storyline turned out being a lot better and more entertaining than I thought it would be. And I'm honestly okay if Clarice just would apply all that psychological behavioral profile stuff in any kind of situation the FBI might find itself in, or whatever situation they throw her into, whether it's related to hunting and tracking serial killers or not. So good news is I think that's definitely going to be a big theme moving forward, is hunting and tracking and solving serial killer crimes. But occasionally, if they want to have an episode or storyline like this, I'd be okay with that too, because I think this episode showed us they can do more beyond serial killers. So good episode, really liked it, and I was a little thrown off by the whole introduction of the brother that was never mentioned once in the other previous films. But whatever, it was nothing that was that jaw dropping or nothing like that. It was a small retcon or whatever you want to call it. So anyway, liked the episode. Looking forward to the next one, which should be dropping in about an hour, I think. So I'm going to quickly go ahead and upload this. I hope you guys enjoyed this most recent episode of Clarice as much as I did. What did you think? I want to hear your thoughts and your opinions down below in the comments section. Have an awesome rest of your night, guys. Thanks for watching. Apologies for the delay. It's been a very busy, very long week, but things are getting back to normal. All right, guys, have a great rest of your night. And of course, until next time, may the force be with you.